'Cause heaven or hell is waiting for you.
Let's go! Yes!
What's up, everybody? It's Minister Chris, and welcome to Rock by the Gospel. I'm here on campus at Palmer Seminary in Philly, in the library, looking through some great material. And one of the things that crossed my mind today was, with all of the wealth of information, what's the most powerful thing we can say? And as we study the scripture and we develop a relationship with God, we always are seeking to find ways that we can articulate the gospel to people in a way that will be relevant to them and will be life-changing. I mean, as I was thinking and I was looking through some of these books, I began to remember a story in John chapter 9 when Jesus heals a man that was born blind. And many people were upset that Jesus did it because it was done on the Sabbath day, so much so that the Jewish leaders of the time called the man and began to interrogate him and ask him who gave him his sight back. And if he was really sent from God, why would he have done it on the Sabbath? The gentleman who was born blind preached quickly one of the most powerful messages I think I've ever heard. And it was a real simple message. He simply told the Jewish leaders, he said, I don't know if he's a sinner or not. I don't really know the theological implications of whether or not he healed me on the Sabbath. But he said, all I know is that I was blind, but now I see. His testimony was, I never went to seminary. I don't know all of the books. I can't really give you all of the doctrine. But I'm certain of one thing. Yesterday I couldn't see, but today I can. And I want to encourage somebody out there to know that you might not have all the answers, but your testimony is great. And it's more powerful than many of these books that are on the shelf because it's relevant and it's real to you. Listen, the person on the street doesn't really care how much you know, but they want to know how God has moved in your life. And so I believe that we really do overcome by the blood of the Lamb. Jesus already poured out his blood, but also by the word of our testimony. I want to encourage you today to let your testimony shine, to let your light shine, to let somebody know what God did for you in your life. I really believe that that is the power of the gospel moving in the life of his people when we are able to tell people this is what Jesus did for me. Paul says in Romans, he says that I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it's the power of God unto salvation to everyone that will believe, the Jew first and also to the Greek. Simply put, Paul says, listen, this gospel changes people's life. And if it's changed your life, then that's the greatest testimony you can ever tell. Listen, I'm not really interested in how well you can articulate the doctrines of Christ if your lifestyle hasn't been changed. But this man who was born blind was able to tell the Jewish leaders of his era, I don't care what you guys think about the man that healed me. All I know is I was blind, but now I see. That may be a testimony. Somebody out there might say, all I know is I couldn't stop using profanity, but now I haven't been using it. I couldn't stop using alcohol or abusing drugs, but now I've been free from addiction. I couldn't stop sleeping around, but now I'm married to one person. And whatever your testimony is, I believe that God is able to use it. And we can be able to tell the world, all I know is I used to be one way, but I had an encounter with Jesus, and now my life has changed. I pray that you've been rocked by the gospel.
Good morning. Man, it's so good to know that you and I were not mistakes. But God knew what he was doing when you were brewing in the womb. He predetermined all the steps you would take from the places